Keith here with Ask DADventure Disney, episode number 10. We made it! Double digits! Thank you guys so much for being here along for the ride and continuing to send in questions. It means the world to us. We're gonna keep going. Are we gonna get to triple digits? I sure hope so, but it all depends on you. We need more questions. Send your questions into our email. Ask DADventure Disney is found at DADventureDisney@gmail.com. DADventureDisney@gmail.com. Could not be easier. You're watching DADventure Disney. Ad@gmail.com, and you're halfway home. All you have to do is type out a question, send it over, and I'll answer it for you right here. If you want to send me a video question, that could be cool too. I'll play it here on the channel, and then I'll answer it directly. What could be better than that? It's like we could share some time together, have a real moment. It could happen. But here we are, episode 10, and it's a question that I've been asked 13 different times, and so I appreciate that from all of you that have asked that. Some of you have already asked other questions, so I'm not gonna put everybody's name, but 13 is my lucky number. We got married in 2013, and we went to Disney World for our honeymoon. It was fantastic. I love the number 13, so let's go ahead and answer the 13 people's questions. What character dining did you choose? Well, we didn't do the meal plan this time, and I've talked about that many times before, but we didn't do the meal plan, so we didn't have the budget to be able to pay for a lot of character dining on this trip. So if we could only pick one, what were we gonna choose? We chose the biggest bang for our buck, and that was Breakfast with the Princesses at the Royal Banquet Hall, the Akershus Royal Banquet Hall in the Norway Pavilion at Epcot. I've talked about it in other videos before. I've talked about it on the site. I've talked about it on our Instagram and Facebook ad nauseum, but it was such a great event for so many different reasons, and I'm gonna talk to you now about it. The Cinderella Royal meals that you can have in the castle is fantastic. You're in the castle at Disney World, like the icon. You get to eat in it, and that's great. But it's really, really expensive. The food's not all that much better, and you get about the same princesses you're gonna get at the Royal Banquet Hall. So when I put the two of it together, it made a lot more sense with some of the other things that the Royal Banquet Hall would be able to afford us to be able to do that right now. So what does the Royal Banquet Hall have that makes it special? Well, they have a really good breakfast to start with. Now, it's the normal breakfast buffet stuff. It's your scrambled eggs, it's your sausage, it's your bacon. There's lots of choices to choose from. There's pastries, there's the Mickey waffles, which are fantastic. Have to have that at least once every trip to the park. But they also have a bunch of Norwegian specialties to choose from. Yeah, there's fish, but there's some other things too, which make for a really interesting breakfast, and I highly recommend it. This is a princess breakfast meal. You get to meet the princesses. They come to your table and say hi. It's amazing. Now, when you first walk in, you're greeted by Belle, and Belle greets each guest as they come in. You go into a little room with just you guys and Belle, and you take your pictures, and it's fantastic. Belle is absolutely adorable and loves to take pictures with the kids. Of course, all the characters do at Disney. Then you're brought to your table, and you sit down. The staff comes over, they tell you about the buffet, they ask if there's any kind of special needs that you might have, they bring you some beverages, which is fantastic, and then you go on and it's time to eat. Now, the whole time you're eating, of course, your little ones, they're looking all around because they know that the princesses are coming, but where are they? Well, they take their time. So this is important to make sure that you tell your kids that the princesses will be coming, but first we have to eat. First, we have to make sure that we get our food and everyone's not walking around as they come, because if everyone was up and getting their food and doing all this craziness, the princesses would have to say, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, as they get around, and that doesn't really make for the big royal entrance that you're hoping for. After a little while, everybody's seated down, everyone's eating their meal, drinking their drinks, having their fun time, eating their Mickey waffles. It's announced that the princesses have arrived, and you start seeing the princesses start walking through the room. So who do you meet? Well, it changes. It can change from time to time, but we met Cinderella, we met Snow White, we met Ariel, and we met Aurora. So that's 5 princesses if you include Belle. All of those princesses, they start going and meeting at all the tables, which is really hard on the little kids because you see the princesses at a different table, and when are they gonna come to me? When are they gonna come to me? When are they gonna come to me? And finally they do. They love to sign your autographs. They're gracious. These people are incredibly trained to know how to do this in every way possible. Our children were 5, 3, and 1, and they were as special to the 1-year-old as they were the 5-year-old, and they took care of all of us. They were great with myself and my wife as well. They really know how to get it done. They kneel down at the table. They talk to the kids. They interact with the children, which is really, really special. You don't get that much any other place. Even the character meets when you go to get your picture taken really quick. This is different. There's a meal on the table table, they're taking the time to sit with you and your family and chat, and they come to you, which is a totally different experience. About halfway through the meal, they have an announcement, and all the kids are allowed to join the princesses in a parade as they parade through the Royal Banquet Hall. And the Royal Banquet Hall is gorgeous, by the way. It's huge, it's big, it looks like a royal banquet hall that a princess would be in, so it's very fun. It's not Cinderella's castle, but nothing else is. So if you can get past that, this is a great second alternative. They come by, they sign your autographs, they take their pictures, they say thank you very much, and by the end of the meal, you have incredibly happy kids and a really happy belly because you've had some really good food. Now here's the best part. If you get the first reservations, so if you get the 8 o'clock a.m. reservations, you'll get done about 10 of 9 or 9 o'clock. Epcot opens at 9 o'clock, and they don't open the international countries until about 10. So, with the exception of Norway, because Norway has Frozen Ever After and also the Kringala Bakery, which is a fantastic place to get some food. Once you're done with your breakfast, you simply walk out the front door, and you are literally standing right in line for Frozen Ever After. No fast pass needed. You don't need one. So we went right out, we stood in line, they played some music in the little area, my kids were dancing around, having a great time, but we were the only people, we were the first ones in line to see Frozen Ever After. The cast member comes over at 9 o'clock, undoes the rope, and we get to walk through. I was the very first person with my kids in tow, walking through the queue of Frozen Ever After. We had to slow down, we had never been on it before. I hadn't been there since it was the Maelstrom. And we were able to walk through and take our time and look at all of it. The people behind us taking pictures as we walk through. We get on our flume, our little, Norwegian boat that they have there, and we take off and we take the ride through Frozen Ever After, which is a great ride. I mean, your kids are really gonna love the ability to see Frozen almost in your face. Olaf, Sven's being hilarious. You've got Kristoff and you've got Anna, and then of course the big scene with Elsa and Let It Go, and your boat rides back. It's all the same ride as Maelstrom. It's the exact same track. So if you remember the little backwards dip and then the forward dip with the bright light, that all happens here too as Marshmallow's laughing at you. And it's a great little ride, and you don't have to sit through the History of Norway movie at the end, which is really kind of fantastic. No, it lets you out into a gift shop, of course, where your little ones are gonna want everything that's ever existed as far as Anna and Elsa goes. Now here's the good thing. You get off that ride, it's still pretty early in the morning, but the line is now building up as far as getting into Frozen Ever After. So what you can do is you can head down 2 doors and you can go into the meet and greet for Anna and Elsa. You meet Anna and Elsa in their own little house. There you have to wait a while. You can take some pictures as you go through their living room, but eventually you have your picture taken with Anna and Elsa, and the wait time is like nothing this early in the morning because people are still getting off the buses and the monorail and the Skyliner to come into Epcot and wait in line to see the princesses. So now we've seen Belle, we've seen Ariel, Snow White, Cinderella, Aurora, Anna, and Elsa. So now we've got 7. We're at 7 princesses already this morning, and it's like 9:30, 9:45 in the morning. We didn't have to use our fast passes for either of these, which was fantastic, so we still had them, and we actually used them later in the day at a different park. So what we did was we went over to Futureland and we checked out the Figment ride. There was no wait. It was still very early in the morning. We get off of Figment, and what's right there in front of you? You get to meet Vanellope, who technically is a princess. And if you watched Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet, they make a big deal about this, of course. There's the famous scene with all the princesses in it. One word of warning. Ralph is there sometimes and then not sometimes. We got there just in time to see Ralph walk away. But eventually he does come out sometimes to meet you as well, but usually it's just Vanellope. So you meet Vanellope, you take pictures with her, it's fantastic, and we move on, and our 8th princess is now in our list. And we thought that was great, that's it. As we're walking out, and we're walking by those fountains that go up at Epcot. If you've been to Epcot, you know what I'm talking about. There's reverse fountains that shoot up. Over there in this little nook, we look over, and there was Elena of Avalor, who was my middle daughter's favorite character. She loves the red dress, loves the song. We walked over and we got our picture taken with Elena of Avalor just there in the open. I mean, talk about bang for your buck. Our autograph book was filled with princess love that early, and it all stemmed from deciding to have our breakfast, our 1-character meal for this trip at the Royal Banquet Hall in Akershus, which was a fantastic thing to do. All this other stuff comes with it. It really is a special, unique experience. I'm glad that you guys asked for it. So for the 13 of you, thank you. Thank you for continuing to ask that question. I love it. I hope this answer is suffice to what you see, and gives you a little bit of hint into why that was the choice I had, and it totally paid off in way more ways than I could have thought. So it was really great. So thank you for watching, everybody. If you can, subscribe, like, comment. I'd love for you to hit the comments and tell me what your favorite character breakfast is and why, or character meal all over, because I want to be able to add those to our list as we go forward. This has been really fun to talk to you guys for 10 episodes now. Episode 11 is already getting ready. I have a good question from good friends of ours. We're going to hit on that. So make sure you come back next week to check out episode 11. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a fan of DADventure Disney. You can find us online on social media at DADventure Disney, or look for hashtag #AskDADventureDisney for this series. Of course, we're on our YouTube channel. If you're watching this somewhere else, go to our YouTube channel and subscribe there. And you can find everything at DADventureDisney.com, where we have our Disney Parent Panel top 10 lists every week. We have our Star Wars fan list on Saturdays. We've got tips, tricks, characters, fast passes, meals, resorts, everything you could possibly want right there at DADventureDisney.com. Thank you again for watching. I hope to see you all in the parks real soon. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you soon. So long.